Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel and welcome back to Fenton Forest Farm. My name is Jerry and I'm so happy to have you back here. We are just sort of riding along here with our big John Deere tractor 9R series and the big plow, because who's got time to plow a field with a very small plow? And so I wanted to apologize because I had actually listed the wrong mod on my mod spreadsheet for this plow. There's two different versions floating around out there. The very first one that I found, and to be quite honest with you, I was so excited when I found it that it was available for 19, because this has been my staple ever since I found it for Farm Sim 15, and it's one of those things where you just sort of anxiously try to patiently wait for a mod to get updated and released for the next version of Farm Sim, and you know, you're not really having a whole lot of fun, because I will admit that plowing is probably one of my least favorite things to do, certainly manually, and of course even though the hired workers can certainly plow, it just takes them a long time at something that's really small. And so anyway, so I had listed the cultivator version of this in my mod spreadsheet, and somebody pointed that out to me, so I'm very appreciative of that. I have corrected that link on my mod spreadsheet. If you're interested in finding this mod or any mods that I'm running on this particular map for Farm Sim 19, go check out my website at grizzlybearsims.com. In the upper menu bar portion of the website, you'll find a word that says information, a link that says information. Click on that, and then that will show you, I think it's called add-ons and mod spreadsheet or something like that. That'll open up a Google document spreadsheet. At the bottom you'll see some tabs. One of those tabs will say FS19, and click on that tab and you'll see all the mods that I have available for Farm Sim 19 that I am using on my maps. Now, of course, that's not all the mods that are available for the game. It just happens to be the ones that I have found, the ones that I have used, the ones that I have sort of come to rely on, I suppose. So we're going to basically bell the remaining portion of this field. Now, when we were last together, I'm not really sure all that we did in that video. It's been several days since I have recorded an episode. It's actually been several days since I've played this map. I've been playing Oxygen David's new map, and the first version of it. Now, there has been an update made available for that, so if you're enjoying that map, you might want to grab the updated version of that. It's not available on the Giants Mod Hub yet. It is on his Facebook page. And I posted a link to that. On the Simulation Gaming Society Discord channel on Friday. So if you go over there, get the link down below at the bottom, and you can grab that update. I would recommend that you do that. And from what he says, from what Oxygen David says in his post on Facebook, it will not require a restart. So if you've already done some work on version 1 of that wonderful map, then you don't have to worry about having to go through the trouble of restarting and all that stuff. But there is some information there which I think would be very beneficial if you went over there and read that, because evidently there's been a lot of folks that's had some confusion about how things work, maybe thinking it were bugs or whatever. Like, for example, you can't just simply put straw bales into the for bedding. You're going to have to get a straw blower for that. So he has, unlike a Stevie map, for example, which we can just typically just take bales over and drop them, and it'll automatically add, or at least I think it will automatically add them to the straw level for the animals. You can't do that with Oxygen David's new FS19 map. So go read that, go understand it. Now, I think that of course all of the map developers, map modders, including Stevie, of course, with this map, they're all waiting patiently, anxiously for Giants to drop the update for Farm Sim 19. And of course, us gamers, those of us that are playing this game, are also waiting patiently, anxiously. There's probably several other words that could describe the action that we're taking on that, waiting for the updates to come out for the game to fix a lot of the problems that exist with this game, that have existed with this game since day one. There's a lot of in-game equipment that doesn't work correctly. There are other things that, don't work so well, or don't look so well, or don't sound so well. Now, of course, I don't know everything that's going to come out or that's going to get fixed. I have not taken the beta, the update beta for that. Just don't plan to. I've explained sort of this before, that in the nature of my job, my day-to-day job, my 9-to-5 job, well, actually it's not 9 to 5. Yesterday I worked 5:30 a.m. until it was well after 5:30 p.m. when I walked out the door, and I ate lunch at my desk yesterday, and suffered indigestion most of the rest of the afternoon. But anyway, in my day job, a lot of what I do involves in testing and those kind of things. And so just kind of wanting to put some separation between the things that I do for a living versus the things that I enjoy doing for a hobby and for stress release, I need to do that. So I have things dialed in as good as possible, and things are working as well as possible with this particular map. And of course I understand some of the shortcomings and everything, and I'm just working around those. So to me, it wasn't that important to take the beta. I would rather Giants polish that with everyone's opinions that are putting out information back to Giants on their testing and their experience with the beta. And then when Giants decides that everything is ready to go, everything is golden with that update, then they will push that out to us, and that will hopefully magically fix all of the problems and then some with the game. Now, of course, when that happens, I'm fearful, and I've talked to others as well that are sort of in the know about how potentially things are going to break when the update hits. And we saw this same thing, very similar thing, with Farm Sim 17 a few years ago. That I'm sort of guessing that this map may break. Oxygen David's map may break, or it may just become slightly peculiar or whatever in its behavior or what have you. So there's probably going to be a time frame where when the update comes out, it's going to take just a little while for people to catch up. Now, Stevie, obviously, if you're waiting for this map to come out for general release, basically its very first version 1, right now this is the testing 2 version of Fenton Forest Farm. Stevie is already starting to incorporate many of the changes that he's wanted to put into this map before it goes general release. So he's already working on that. So really, I think what he's waiting for is he's waiting for Giants to push the patch out, for him to self-validate that everything is going to more or less work, load up, no errors, things like that. Most likely he will push that version of the map out to a few people, maybe everyone, with the caveat that this is the third testing version of the map or whatever. And then pending everything is fine, what little bugs get reported, get fixed, all that kind of stuff, then he'll put that out for version 1, and we'll all be happy as a pig in mud. So and I was thinking about this yesterday, actually. I think that when I came into this game back in the Farm Sim 15 days, I got into this about the March time frame of 2015. So obviously FS15 would have dropped in 2014, in the fall of 2014, like they do, and I think it was in October. And by the time I found out about it and bought it and installed it and started playing it, it was around the March time frame. So I had more or less, and I'm not saying that there were issues I'm not saying that there were issues with, let me kill this and let me go ahead and unload the baler, because we're going to do something interesting here with these bells. I'm not suggesting that there were problems or that there weren't problems, but by the time I came onto the scene with Farm Sim 15, my guess is all of these little quirky problems that came out between 15 and 13 had all been fixed with a patch of some sort. Don't know for sure, but that's sort of my guess, because when I got 15, of course I will also admit that I pretty much only played with the default equipment, the default maps and stuff like that, so I wasn't big into mods early on. I found out about mods several months after I got started with the game, and of course it was a Stevie map that was the first that I was introduced to. So it's very possible that by the time I came around to all of that, these issues were resolved. But anyway, it is what it is. We saw some of these problems with 17. We're seeing them with 19. I'm sure that most likely we'll see them again with 21. Maybe not. Maybe Giants will, have learned their lesson and everything. So we have something new on the map to play around with, because, well, this is Sandbox. So we're just kind of playing and doing things as we want to. Now this is a Lizard flatbed bell trailer, and to my knowledge, this is the very first auto-loading bell trailer of any quality, other than the in-game sort of mechanical loaders that we have. But this is the first that's come out for Farm Sim 19 of any quality. This is an updated version of it. I did not play around with the first version, but Doug Zorley Gaming has had this for a few weeks. The earlier version he updated, I think Thursday or Friday, Wednesday or something like that of this last week, which is kind of how I found out about it. I went out, got it. It's listed on my mod spreadsheet, so if you're interested in having that, of course we'll have to kind of see how well it works, and we'll find that out here in just a moment when we get our semi fired up and get it into gear. And let's go and connect to it and see how it works. This is the first time I've messed with it, so if there's anything that's going to go wrong with it, we're going to experience that together, because I have not practiced this. I do sometimes test things before I start talking about them on a video, and certainly before I do any sort of mod review. But this isn't really a mod review. This is just continuation of our gameplay. So let's take a look at it. Looks pretty good. I have certainly have no faults on the visual aspects of this particular trailer. Looks nice and shiny, nice and new, which is what we would expect. I do not know what would happen if we were to tow this with a dual axle semi. Back in I think it was in 17, some of the very early grain trailers that came out that were converted from Farm Sim 15 over to 17, some of those very early ones had an issue with the dual axle semi in clipping the jack stands and everything. And so I don't know if what this would look like. We don't own one of those. But the mechanics, the visuals and everything look good. The jack stands come down, and then the trailer connects up. We've got the hoses that come in and then get reconnected, so that's kind of cool. And let's go see how, let's look at the menu options again. We're doing all this together because, that's just kind of how we're rolling right now. So we're loading pallets. So let's large square bells. We're not doing lumber pallets, egg boxes, cotton modules, pallets. Let's do small square bells, because I think that might be the standard. We'll have to see. It could be large square bells. I know that I think there is a mod or something that's out that's producing larger size bells, but it could be that these are the smaller bells might be the ones that are more tossed around via hand, kind of like we all did when we were younger, if we did that kind of work. But let's just see what happens. We need to turn our mode on Now I don't know if this has a speed restriction or anything like that. We're just going to learn this together, and well, it looks like that's not the correct mode. So let's go ahead and go out of that, and let's go to large square bells and see if that will do it. There you go. Okay, so large square bells. So it is talking about large square bells in relation to this trailer are the 4,000 liter bells. I do not know of a baler that's out yet for the smaller bells, again, kind of the ones that we used to manually load by hand. So maybe they've just prepared for that, that those will come out. Anyway, I wanted to update everyone on my courseplay issue. The courseplay issue seems to exist only with this map. And I had a brainstorm. Often I think about things in the middle of the night when I'm laying awake, thinking about other things that's stressing me out or whatever. And if I start thinking about, if I've got things going on in my real life that's somewhat stressful, and if I sometimes try to think about things related to farm sim or whatever, it's a little bit helpful to do that. Let's see if we can get both sides here. Got to get closer, so we'll just do this like this. But anyway, I had told you that I have been playing around with Oxygen David's first version of his new map, the one that's available from Giants Mod Hub, and I harvested a field, and I didn't have any problems in getting the tractor and the tipper to empty at the grain silo there on the farm. And so it got me to thinking. I was thinking, okay, well, you know, one thing that is somewhat unique with what I'm doing with this map, Fenton Forest Farm, and Courseplay, is that I had been using courses that I had created many Courseplay updates ago. And so I'm thinking, well, maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe, and by the way, it looks like this trailer will hold 39 bells, so that's pretty darn good, I would have to say. So anyway, I'm thinking to myself, okay, you know, this is self-inflicted pain. What's happened is, you know, there's been updates to Courseplay, maybe something about the course creation process isn't liking these older courses, and let me just create a new course and test it. Well, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I can say that it must not have anything to do with that, because quite honestly, it was the same end result that I experienced. It will not stop at the silo dump point. It keeps going, it slows down, it starts to dump a little bit, but it just never stops. It does not stop at the trigger. Now, interestingly enough, when I set up the course to automatically pick up the straw from this field, which I collected maybe 3/4 of this field with the forage wagon, it worked fine. So it dumps the straw. It just will not dump any of the other grains, corn, wheat, etc. So I'm going to go and I'm going to post that on Facebook, on Stevie's Facebook page, and just see if anyone else is aware of that from the perspective. And I'm gonna see if we get that error message that says auto load is turned off once we reach a certain speed. You can see that I missed some wheat there, actually some oats, and I guess it doesn't do that. So that's cool, because that was always a little bit annoying with those that basically limit you to the speed that you can drive. So that looks pretty good. That looks really, really good with what we've got going on here, and I'm happy to have it. Let's look at the menu options and just see. We can load our tension belts. Can we load our tension belts? Maybe we need to. Yeah, there they are, but they're underneath. They're underneath the bells. Let's see if we get out and if we can strap it down and we see it go over. No, it doesn't go over the bells, but that's okay. That's okay, you know, little things. So I kind of cycled through. We'll go ahead and turn workload off, and let's see if it. Nope, still doesn't do it. So a lot of different things that we can do as far as picking stuff up. So we can pick up our wool, our eggs, Probably as the game progresses, as we get more mods for, probably should tie these things down. As we get more mods for Farm Sim 19, I'm sure that, you know, it'll do more things. It'll pick up more kind of things and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, back to the courseplay error. I can't get it to work with grains. It worked before. It worked beautifully before. We harvested an entire field of sunflowers, and it worked just fine. So it also works on Oxygen David's map. So it's sort of leading me to believe that the issue is actually something to do with the way Courseplay has progressed through its updates, and something with Stevie's maps. But, you know, who knows? It could be just something related to this particular game save. It could be a mod that I'm running on this map. I think I have everything selected on Oxygen David's map that I have on this map, but you don't know. Let's drive and see if let's see if we can empty just directly from the trailer here, because I was talking about that. I don't think it's gonna take it. But anyway, that's not what I wanted to do anyway with these straw bales. So let's find a place to dump them, sort of out of the way for right now. And what I'm going to do is, oh, I had them locked down. Maybe that's why. Let's see if I can back up here and see if it'll take these bales directly off the trailer for the horses, if they even need any. They may not need straw. Yeah, I guess they don't need straw, but that's okay. That's really not what we wanted to do. I may be doing something wrong that I'm just not thinking about right now, because it is early Saturday morning, and getting up and enjoying my cup of coffee and all that stuff. So we're just gonna put these right here. They're gonna be in the way. I know they are. Autoloader marker position. So we got our B key. Oh, that's cool. That's a little bit different look there than what we've had before. And we've got that. And we can also, looks like we can tune it. We can move it left, move it up, etc. We're not going to worry about any of that, and we're going to go ahead and do Y and get them off the trailer. And there they are, ladies and gentlemen, right there in the way for us. But hey, it's all okay. It's all okay. So I think in the last episode we also cut some grass, and I got all of that compacted. And I just wanted to show you what a wonderful top-notch job Stevie does with his bunker silos. Look at this. I mean, there is nothing coming through. I did not do silage on, there's some there. That's just what I missed, not getting it scooped up and getting it placed into the bunker properly. But that's not on Stevie at all. But I did not do silage in this fashion on the default FS19 map, Ravenport. So I don't know how that behaves necessarily, but I can tell you that with Stevie's maps, he really works hard to make sure that the silage stays where it's supposed to, and it doesn't flow under or it gets down below the dirt level that you can't get it out. This is the second batch of silage that I've made on this map. I made a batch in the first version, testing 1 version, and this is the testing 2 version. So we're at 14% fermentation. So I'm probably going to fast forward time between this episode and the next episode, and then we will come back together and do some other crop things, I'm sure. I've been plowing with a hired worker this morning, and probably start getting ready to put some more seeds in the ground on some of these fields that we have, and just kind of rinse and repeat and have some fun. And probably going to deliver some milk eventually. I don't know how much we have, but I guess it doesn't really matter right now. Let's see, how much do we have? We've got 7,866 liters of milk. I wish that they would, I wish that this is good. I like this. I like this compared to the earlier versions, Farm Sim 15, 17, as far as looking at your animals go. But I wish that there was these screens that we could see the individual productivity of each animal and what each animal type is, but also wish that there was another page to this that displayed everything at a glance, so that one page I could look to see what my feeding conditions were for my pigs without having to scroll down, what my sheep without having to scroll down. Basically just be one page, and then you click something and then you come to this individual stuff here. I don't know, maybe they can address that. So ladies and gentlemen, it's coming up on 30 minutes, about 26 minutes I think. I'm going to go ahead and cut this early and tell you all, thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate it. I hope that you will come back again for another episode here on the Grizzly Bear Sims channel, and I hope our chickens are doing well as well. Looks like they are nice and healthy looking birds there. So thank you again for watching, and hope you all have a wonderful day. And this is a 3-day weekend for me. This is President's Day weekend, so looking forward to spending some time in my lazy boy relaxing from a very stressful previous week. So again, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all at the very next episode here on Fenton Forest Farm. Bye bye for now.